Have you ever walked into a camera store and then mistakenly left without buying a Canon R5 II? It's known as a brain injury. That's what happens when people get into car accidents. They can't see straight. They don't know where they are. You're stupid.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we have 3 Canon-related questions, and I have some experiments to conduct on you. Right now, we are trying to replicate the Fuji XS20 with the Zeiss to it 32mm 1.8. That would be roughly this, a 2.8 equivalent. Disgusting in its nature. Can you even believe what that would look like? This. Gross. Oh my God. So first, just drink in this Fuji replica image. Oh. Now let's switch to the proper 1.2. What are we even doing? This is the first time, I'll be honest with you, the R5 II. I'm so excited about it. Every time what can I film with this camera? Like, I love it so much, it does everything I would ever need. Meaning vlogging, this bullshit, out in the field, wildlife, slow motion, anything. For the first time, I find myself dumbfounded sitting here because I'm so used to looking for gear. What should I get next? There's like nothing even on the radar. Like, I was reaching for a Fuji XS20, maybe, Zeiss? The only thing that could compete with this is something that doesn't exist yet, but it might come soon, like the Nikon cinema camera, who knows? So like, we're done, man. We're in 8K, by the way, and I will switch to 4K fine and then 4K raw, and we'll see the differences for all these 3 hobos. First hobo, is it that much better than the original R5? You are lost in a laundromat. Boy, did I ever make a list for you. Not only do we have better stabe, from what I noticed, like, it was jerky on the R5, this is better somehow, even though the specs don't agree. Autofocus, this is the first Canon camera that's ever been so reliable, hardly ever, is it the odd time? Don't do it. It's Sony level, and the animal eye detect is beyond anything Sony could ever do. It's godly, unfathomably. 240 frames per second, slow motion. I used it the other day. It was snowing. You couldn't see the terror and danger. It was like, okay, real-time snow, who cares? But when you punch into 240 frames per second, you see, like, okay, he is in hell. Wow, what magic. So 240 is the minimum spec. R5 did 8K 30, grow up. We're doing 8K 60 now, and it is usable. It's a bit stuttery when I play it back, but I took it out for a full day of 8K 60, and it was totally good. It was like 86 gigs or something I came back with, and you can play it. It takes a while to render, but like, it looks beautiful. The codecs alone were the only reason I got this, because the R5 was fantastic. I would have had that over the A7S III back in 2020 if it wasn't for those stupid files. I couldn't even play them. So I was like, well, I guess I can't use that. Camera Canada lent me the camera, and after a week or 2, I was like, I don't even want to use this anymore. It's so annoying. So like, now we have all the codecs. I can actually play this 8K file no problem. 420, of course. It's only 400 megabits per second. Even Sony 4K 24p is 240. That's not much more for 8K. It's crazy. C-Log 2. What are we even doing? Like, I don't know why Canon withholds that so much. This is the only mirrorless that has it. Even the R5C, the cinema cam, does not have it. C70 does. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know why, but it's way better than C-Log 3. We have pre-recording on this, which I haven't tested yet, but it does work in 4K 120 and HD 240, but not in 8K 60. So like, I have a little button mapped and it wasn't working in 8K, so that could be interesting, but I feel like that would eat your battery alive. That's the one downside of this stupid camera. It's gonna die in this video, guaranteed. I've never had it overheat, but it could as well. I've seen warnings, but like only up to 3 bars one time when I did like a 40-minute video in here, and it was like, that will eventually overheat in 4K fine. Is there anything else? SRAW, 4K 60, or 4K 24p. It looks beautiful, hard to edit, but it's SRAW. You don't have that in the R5, you're bullshit. Okay, let's switch to 4K fine, which is oversampled from 8K, and see if we can even see a difference. 4K. You can do higher megabits per second than the 8K in this mode. So like now we're in 10-bit 422 instead of 420. I've noticed that difference so much. You wouldn't believe the differences. You can see it. So like 8K, this is oversampled 4K. I'm in Intra, 240 megabits per second. I could have went higher, but I chose not to. Great video as always. So much better than the R6 II. Cost double. Cry. It's not even in, we're not talking about the same company almost at this point, but the R6 II is fantastic. Had HD 180 with autofocus, Panasonic. Worse colors though. For whatever reason, the R6 line is different. It's a different color science. Don't know why that would happen. It's a hammer move. A little more yellow on the skin. Maybe you prefer it. It's color is subjective, so could be, but worse colors. HD 180 instead of 240, that you could see it. You also have the bad codecs. If you want to shoot 10-bit, all of a sudden things get really hard to edit, whereas this, not so much. And I could shoot 10-bit in standard, faithful, all those things, whereas you're 8-bit in those modes. And if you want log, you're forced into 10-bit and super hard to edit. And it's C-Log 3 only, not even 2. You're a loser. And same as the R5, the autofocus is just not as reliable. I've had problems with it. Now I don't with Canon. I can trust you. I'm learning to trust you. I still have doubts. Some point, like, you're gonna lose my ass, but it's been the best. Yeah, this is happening now. Brighter. That's not the button. I'm just changing the color. No, I needed that blue. Oh, go back. Go back. Please. Okay, don't touch anything else. Yeah, wow, that adds a lot to my show. Okay, we're gonna switch to RAW, and I wanna tell you something that I noticed in RAW. So what I've noticed, the colors are different in RAW. Better, like noticeably better. Outside, I noticed SRAW versus 4K something long up. I was like, the colors are different and better. I messed up the titles in the video. Not one of you even noticed it. You're not even paying attention, you bunch of drunk assholes. But like, it was the opposite one was RAW. And for whatever reason, RAW is better. It's hard to edit though. The files are 330 megabits per second, so it's in between. It's not terrible, it's just, can we edit the damn thing? No. All right, last question here. I'm curious, Casey, say Canon confirmed plans for an R5C II. What would it need to compel you to upgrade to it that couldn't be done in a firmware update? Now we're sparking some debates here, because the R5C II should be the superior video camera to this. So I would say, do not copy the blueprint of whatever the hell you did with the R5C, where you were an R5 replica, but you took away IBIS.
This is a short automated survey from Ecos.
That was rude. So you remove IBIS, you remove animal eye detect, you switch into cinema menus, which I got one jabron trying to say, this is so much better. No one ever complains about the cinema menus. What are you talking about? You can't save custom modes in it. If you want to switch modes, I just took the C70 out for a wildlife expedition with the 600mm Tony 11. That video is coming. And it was a nightmare. If you want to switch from 4K 60 into HD 180, you had to turn off so many things, like switch into Super 16 mode, turn high frame rate on, change the frame rates, the resolution down to... It was a nightmare. Whereas like R5 II, boom, one press, we're done. So I'm just gonna say it, I do not like Canon cinema menus. This is the menu that is good for real video shooters, YouTubers, scrubs. Not your, like, I'm at work, I need vertical videos, I'm filming a hip hop dance tutorial, like, go to work, asshole, to clean some toilets be of use, you piece of shit. So no cinema menus, we're just doing this. I don't need to confuse myself. More custom modes. How about, like, I have 3, that's cool. What if I had 10? That might be nice. Now, ideally, I would have this be a low megapixel version of perfect 4K, 8 megapixels, DGO sensor, full frame. Oh my God, right now, but that's probably not gonna happen. If it is an R5C II, it's gonna use this sensor and just in a cinema body. So, okay, we're doing 8K, but give me better codecs, easy to edit, raw. So I have my 4K 60, and give me all the crop RAWs. 6K RAW is a bit of a crop, 4K RAW, a bit of a crop, HD RAW, 240p HD RAW with like Super 16 cents, like all these little crop modes in RAW, and SRAW without crops, like we're doing here. A way bigger battery. This is a nightmare battery. I've never had so many issues. Like every time I'm just, oh, gotta switch the battery again. Like with Sony, if it's at like 40%, I just take it out and go. I know I'm good for the day. I'll bring a battery with me just in case, but come on. With this, it's like, better not. Yeah, it looks full now, but let's just switch the battery. It's bad. It's bad news. And why can't I see the percentage of battery, or can I? I haven't seen that in the menu, but Sony gives me, 18%. I know if I'm at like 17%, I might be able to finish a video like this, but probably not. Whereas this, I just see bars and they flash at me aggressively. And bigger battery, way better. No overheating, obviously, would be nice. Little fan in there. My C70 will never overheat. This might at some point. There's no warnings, even though we've done 8K and 4K fine and now we're doing RAW. It's like, no warnings. It's just the battery's about to die. That's for damn sure. But I'd love to see a DGO Canon full frame. You know that's in their back pocket. No one does DGO but ARRI, and for whatever reason, Canon is the only other one, and they did it in the C70, but they have not replicated it again. The C80 took it away, so no thank you to that. Like, would the C80 look better than this? More filmic? Probably, but not as filmic as the C70. So DGO full frame? I want to see it, but give me that C70 filmic touch. This wildlife footage to come, it was so filmic, I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm trying to sell this camera, the C70. Like, I don't really need it, but whenever I see it, I'm just like, damn, why would I sell that? So I probably won't. It's just, it was such a pain in the ass to use. IBIS, please. Or if you're being that dumb and you're gonna remove my IBIS, you better have electronic variable NDs that do auto up to 10 stops, variable auto shit. If you're not doing that, go home. You're drunk. So not bad, Canon. I feel home. I'm at home now. I'm at peace. I crave nothing. I still look. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm lost. Just like a Z6 III. Like, why? Why anything else? So like this, you win. You win my life. Just like better battery would be nice. Let me see the percentage at least. 1 bar left. So could you see the difference at all between 8K, even though he didn't have the awesome screen that I have? What a loser. But 8K, oh my God, that's sharp. And then the 4K fine, I don't know what this is. Is it fine or is it line skip? Like, it's raw, so it should be, it can't be oversampled. I don't know how they do any of it. So I will be leaving now. Thank you for your Bitcoin donations. And Sony, your face is green. Nikon, you're shaky and weird. Panasonic, you have no hope. Ponies, otherwise, trampling you in the night. Fuji, vintage touch, anyone? You don't have the background blur I have, or the autofocus. You suck. OM system? I'll take 3 sushi rolls, vegan, of course. There's no other companies. I'll be leaving now. Subscribe, man.